Precious Lord, take my hand and lead me on. Let me stand. I am tired. I am weak. I am lone. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Take my hand. Precious Lord, and lead me home. When my way grows dreary, precious Lord, I need you to linger near. When my light is almost gone, hear my cry, hear my call. Hold my hand, lest I fall. Take my hand, precious Lord, and lead me on. When the darkness appears, when the night draws near, and the days is past and gone. When it's gone, guide my feet, please guide my feet, hold my hand, precious Lord, I know your name. Take my hand, precious Lord, and lead
Our reading is an excerpt from A Good Man's Death, as featured in the Martyrs, 16 Who Gave Their Lives for Racial Justice by Jack Mendelsohn. After serving as associate minister at All Souls Unitarian Church in Washington, D.C., the Reverend James Reeb became clear that his ministry was leading him to give his life completely to the inner city and to work on problems of racial integration and justice. Jim Reeb was once asked, "What do you consider to be the most important values in life?" And he wrote this.
People. I consider people to be more important than anything else in life. Therefore, I enjoy working with people more than anything else. Whatever relates to the improvement of the conditions under which people live, and therefore creates greater opportunities for fruitful human relationships, is of concern to me. Nothing gives me more satisfaction than encouraging the mutual understanding and faith that makes some worthy enterprise possible.
Religion. Religion has been important to me as long as I can remember. By my senior year in high school, I recognized a clear inner call to the ministry. The interpersonal, subjective experience of God was always very important to me. In the course of my development, I finally became a humanist. However, I am still oriented around my own inner sense of rightness and seek to follow my own intuition.
Psychiatry. My interest in psychiatry, developed initially during seminary, was aroused because it opened many doors to my own self-understanding and the genuine acceptance of other people. My interest has continued for these same reasons, as well as a desire to broaden my understanding of psychology of religious experience.
Freedom. I left the Presbyterian ministry because my pursuit of truth and understanding could not be contrived. I wanted to minister to people's needs, but not within the context of an organization that required that I sacrifice my integrity.
Social justice. Since my days as a hospital chaplain, some of my deepest concerns have related to the problems of Negro people in our society. I would like to have a further opportunity to contribute to the changes that will bring them full equality in American society. But I believe that dream of justice is one of man's noblest aspiration and one which continues to grow in importance to me.
The city. I think some of our major social problems are in our great urban centers. The problems of these centers are especially intriguing to me in my work at All Souls. I have received much satisfaction from my relationship to the development of a community organization.
The Alabama River is a great brown serpent that inches its way along Selma's Broad Street and under the Edmund Pettus Bridge, site of the drama that was to claim Jim Reeb's life. On March 8, 1965, following the brutal attack by state troopers and sheriff deputies on nonviolent demonstrators, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. sent telegrams to religious clergy and groups across the continent to join the struggle. Reverend Reeb responded to the call and left immediately for Selma. It was his last act of ministry. After a day of nonviolent protests on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, Jim Reeb and 2 other Unitarian Universalist ministers were brutally attacked as they left a cafe following dinner. Reverend Reeb died 2 days later on March 11th at a Birmingham hospital. He was 38 years old. At his memorial service in Boston, John Sullivan, Regional Executive Secretary of the American Friends Service Committee, spoke these words.
What sort of man was James Reeb? He was a gentle but strong man. He was a good husband and father, a faithful minister.
He was a direct man. When the NAACP decided to bring a suit against the Boston School Committee over de facto segregation, Jim said, "I'm one of the parents whose children go to these schools. I want the NAACP to represent me against the school committee."
He was a man who trusted experience. He wanted to be in the middle of things. He knew that when one lives through an experience, he really understands it and will not fall prey to his own rationalizations.
James Reeb's life can speak to us. It says, "Come in out of the suburbs and revive the dying city."
It says, "Don't flee from the sinking schools, get in them and work on them."
It says, don't settle for nice houses in the suburbs and rotten houses in the ghetto. Change it through every appropriate way: community organization, legislation, code enforcement.
There is a killer in the dark and racist streets of the South, but there is a killer in the North, too.
And the killer's name is non-involvement. It is apathy and lack of interest. It is self-concern.
This is the killer James Reeb was stalking, and when he found him, he was going to wrap him around with righteousness and justice and love.
There is now an awakening in our nation. Let it be a real awakening, and let there be an end to complacent sleep. Here ends the reading.